Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Hi everyone, welcome. Hello. Oh my God, my voice. Morning everyone, thank you for joining. So as always, we'll wait a couple minutes for everyone to sign in and then we will get started. Hello. Today's stretch and mobility session is going to start by focusing. We're going to go through the neck, shoulders, arms, spine, and then we'll kind of just make our way down the body. And then maybe at the end, if we have some time, we'll do some like fun flows where we kind of put it all together. Hey, hello everyone. Yay, second stretch of the week. Believe it or not, I was actually sore from Monday's stretch. I don't know if that's a good thing. Probably not a good thing. It's been that long since I have done the stretches. So I definitely see the benefits. When you go without it for a couple weeks, it makes a big difference. So we'll get started in a few minutes. If you want to get comfortable on your yoga mats, all we need today is just your yoga mat and your body. If you have yoga blocks or books that you want to have nearby just to kind of help you with any of the postures, you're more than welcome to use them, but our bodies will be more than enough today. And if you have your tea or coffee, enjoy it for the next few minutes. And then before we get started, I'll make a mini announcement and then we'll get into it. And then if you guys have requests for Friday, you can write them down now and then I'll make a note of it. Because once I post this video on IGTV, all the comments disappear. So you can let me know now while we wait what you would like to focus on for Friday. Today's like a little bit of everything. I'm gonna do a little bit more focus on the upper body as well. Good morning. So for those of you just joining, or if you haven't done the morning stretch classes before, my name is Irina. I'm a personal trainer, yoga teacher, mobility enthusiast, or I love mobility, so that's my big thing right now. I think it's so needed, especially nowadays with how many workouts we're doing, how much we're sitting. And I'm here in Toronto. I've been doing a lot of lives at City Shred, which I've been enjoying. I'm doing them Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. My personal page right now is taking a little break from my lives just because I've been dealing with some personal stuff, so just don't really have as much time to put out content, but hopefully that'll change in the next few weeks. So for now, you can find me on City Shred Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Wrists on Friday from all the typing and texting. We're actually gonna do some wrist stuff today too, so we'll do a little warm up for Friday. So actually we're gonna start, we'll do neck, shoulders, elbows, wrists, and then we'll go into spine, and then we'll move down the body. And I also, so obviously all the trainers we're all putting out a lot of free workouts through City Shred. And City Shred has decided to partner up with an organization, Harriet Tubman Community Organization. It's actually here in Toronto, and it's a non-for-profit. It was built or founded in 1972, and they support Black youth in Toronto and across Canada by providing educational programs, recreational programs, and culturally relevant programs. So the link is in the bio. You're more than welcome to make a donation after any of the sessions that you take on City Shred. Our goal is to raise $1,000, but I think that we can beat that. So after the session, if you've enjoyed it, if you'd like to donate, we would greatly appreciate that. And again, it goes for any of the sessions, and you can donate any amount that you feel comfortable with. And just know that this is a wonderful organization, and it's local, and we know exactly where the money's going. So hopefully we can all support. All right, so we're gonna get started. So you can find a comfortable position, seated. I'm gonna sit cross-legged. If you're not comfortable cross-legged, you can put a little pillow underneath your bum, or you can even uncross the legs and just kind of have a nice comfortable position in this way. Birthday stretch. Happy birthday, Claudia. Okay, we'll make it extra special then. So we're gonna sit up nice and tall, just really rooting down through the sit bones in whatever position you're seated. My God, I'm struggling to speak today. And then from here, we're gonna go into our neck first. So just gently dropping the chin towards our chest, finding that stretch to the back of the neck. And then we're gonna gently trace across the collarbone over to the right side, keeping the chin as close as possible. And then coming back to center and then over to the left. So we're just moving slowly through this, just drawing a little semicircle from one shoulder to the other. And just finding that stretch, the length to the back of the neck first. And then here, just making sure that the shoulders are relaxed. And just nice and easy, side to side. Let's do one more time. And then slowly coming back to center, chin is gonna come parallel to the floor, and then we're gonna continue now with rotation. Same thing from one side to the other. And again, here we're not trying to go as far as we can into this rotation with control. We're not trying to crank our neck, we're just warming it up. It's nice and easy, and we're just gonna go through kind of all the directions, and then we'll combine them. And then just paying attention to see if the rest of the body's trying to come in and for the ride, or if you're able to fully relax and keep everything else still. And coming back to center, now we're gonna tilt. So we're gonna go into a little bit of flexion. So again, trying to get that ear as close as possible to the shoulder without having the shoulder creep up. So you wanna keep the shoulders relaxed. Back to center, and then over to the opposite side. If anything, if you wanna go deeper into the stretch, you can almost like try to bring that shoulder a little bit lower. Maybe for the first two, you can just keep everything as is. Especially if you're feeling super tight, this might be enough. Again, we're moving slowly through this. It gives you an opportunity to tune in, check in with yourself, see where those tight areas are, see where you're holding on to tension, usually in the neck and traps for most of us. Beautiful. Now we're gonna keep that left ear to left shoulder. We're gonna hold it here, keep it as close as possible, and then we're gonna add that little rotation. So just taking your gaze towards the left shoulder and then taking it all the way forward, maybe even slightly up again. Little movements here. Continue to melt that right shoulder towards the floor. You're gonna feel a nice deep stretch to the right side of the neck. Beautiful. And then slowly coming back to center, take a deep breath in. And then as we exhale, melting the right ear to the right shoulder. And then you're gonna keep that space as small as possible. And then from here, again, we're gonna start little rotation, little movements, taking your gaze towards the right shoulder, towards the floor, and then slowly forward, maybe slightly up. Whatever we do here, we wanna make sure that that space between the ear and the shoulder stays small. Again, moving, exploring, just working through the kinks, working through the tight areas. This is one of my favorite stretches. Beautiful, and then slowly coming back to center. Now we're gonna go through a full circle. So dropping your chin towards your chest. We're gonna scrape across the collarbone to the right side. Your gaze is on the shoulder, then it's gonna go behind the shoulder. You're gonna tilt your head back. You're gonna reach your chin up towards the ceiling. Think about painting the ceiling with your gaze until you take it over to the left side. Chin comes down towards the collarbone. You're scraping all the way down. Let's do that same thing one more time in the exact same direction. So continue to go across the chest to the right shoulder, slightly over the shoulder, tilting back, but you're still keeping the neck strong. Chin comes up towards the ceiling, across towards that left side.
And then all the way back to center, lifting that chin up.
Beautiful. Now we're going to do 2 in the opposite direction. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, melt the chin.
Scrape across the collarbone now towards the left side, keeping it as close as possible. Reaching slightly over that shoulder, tilting back, lengthening through the chin, moving across the ceiling. Notice here my shoulders don't creep up, they're staying relaxed. Over to the right, all the way down, holding here and continuing for one more circle through. All the way. We're moving slowly through this, creating a little bit of tension. And then all the way forward. And then gently lift that chin up.
Perfect. From here, we're gonna loosen up our arms. We're gonna start to just do gentle circles through our shoulders back. So again, nothing to think about here. Just continuing to sit up nice and tall. And again, maybe working through those cracks, bringing the shoulders as far as you can up towards your ears, all the way back and down. And just keeping a nice bend in the elbows so that we're not too stiff. Getting to be a little bit more fluid. Beautiful. So much crackling. Whew. And let's change direction. So again, pull the shoulders back, opening to the chest. Coming all the way up and down. And sometimes I know you have to look at me, but when I do these, I like to close my eyes and then just like really take my attention inward. So you can do that as well and just continue to listen to my voice. Beautiful. And then slowly coming to stillness. From here, we're gonna move into let's do our shoulders first. Let's bring our arms forward. So they're gonna be in line with our shoulders. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull the shoulders back. So you're gonna bring the shoulder blades towards one another. So really squeezing. Imagine there's a pen between my shoulder blades. And then you're gonna go into protraction, reaching through the fingertips, kind of rounding a little bit through the upper back. So moving the shoulder blades as far away as possible. And then again, pulling back. Notice here, I'm not pulling up towards my ears. I'm keeping the shoulders set into their little pockets. And then reaching forward. And we're just gonna go into these 2 movements for a few more reps. Again, here, notice that my spine is not moving. I'm just trying to isolate movement from my shoulders. You're gonna start to feel a little bit of heat building up through the arms. And then again, think about just the shoulder blades here doing all of the work. A couple more. And then we're gonna come into just that neutral position here, and we're gonna hike the shoulders up towards our ears. So you're gonna feel the shoulder blade glide up your back, and then you're gonna lower it all the way down, almost like you're breaking something apart, and the shoulder blades kind of move away from each other and down into their pockets. And then again, lifting the shoulders up towards your ears, and then lowering down as low as you can. Again, it's not a big movement. So just taking your awareness to the shoulder blades, visualizing the movement patterns. A couple more. So again, as I'm doing this, I'm starting to feel that blood flow, that activation between my shoulder blades. Good, last one. From here, you're gonna take your arms, you're gonna open them up to the sides, kind of on a diagonal. And then from here, we're gonna pull the shoulder blades together and then really finish off by like doing that little extra pinch. And then imagine somebody pulling your fingers away, reaching far, far away, shoulder blades move apart. And then again, back in. So my shoulder blades are kind of going like down and in together. So my shoulders move away from the ears and I'm squeezing, 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 and then reaching to the fingertips. 3 more times, pulling in and reach out. Last 2. I'm in the screen, perfect. And last one, really squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Perfect. Relax and lower the arms down and shake them out. Woo! Little burn. Now we're gonna go into a full circle through with the shoulder blades. So again, shoulder, scapular cars here, reaching your arms forward, shoulders up towards our ears. You're gonna pull back, so squeeze them together.
From here, you're gonna lower them down into their little pockets and then forward. So again, keeping the rest of the body as still as possible, especially the chin, making sure it doesn't come forward, pulling back, lowering down, and forward. Here you can also have two fists if it helps, but we're trying not to move through the elbow. So sometimes like our elbows want to move through this as we do it, so try to keep your arms nice and strong. And again, thinking about that gliding action of the shoulder blades. And we're just going in one direction first. Building lots of heat right now. My arms are feeling it. Good, and let's see if we can go the opposite direction. So you're gonna pull back, reach the shoulders up towards your ears, drive forward, and you're pushing through the knuckles or the fingertips, and lowering down into those shoulder sockets. Good. Back, up, back, and reaching up, and forward, and then lowering down into the little pockets. Good, 2 more times, pulling back, and up. So if you're feeling a lot of tension usually in your traps, it's a really great exercise to kind of loosen everything up in that shoulder, chest, neck area. Good. And last one, relax down and shake it out. From here, we're gonna go into a little bit of actual shoulder movement. We're gonna go into shoulder flexion first. So we can continue to sit, or you can uncross the legs if it's too much. From here, we're gonna have our hands by our sides. We're gonna start to reach up towards the ceiling. We're trying to find flexion, again, without flaring our ribs. So we're staying nice and neutral, driving the thumbs back, and then slowly lower down. So this is gonna be more like a little movement flow, and each time maybe you can reach a little bit further. So again, if you're feeling any pinching, if you're too tight, don't go as far. So find that max reach for you, and then slowly lower down. And then again, sweep. So every time you're sweeping, my arm stays nice and straight. I'm driving my thumbs back. Notice here, I could probably go further out if I was to cheat and bring my ribs forward. So I'm staying nice and neutral and then lowering down. Good. 3 more. Reaching all the way up and back. Arms stay nice and straight. Lowering down. So finding lots of length. Sweeping the arms up towards the ceiling. Trying to stay neutral also through the neck. Good, last one, reaching up. And slowly lowering down. We're gonna go the same idea, going into extension. So now our arms are gonna go back and reach up. So again, you can kind of just gently sweep the floor. You're gonna extend those arms back, reach them as high as they go. You notice here now the shoulder is internally rotated, and I'm reaching to my fingertips. Again, I'm not folding forward. I'm sitting up nice and tall. My arms are active, so I'm gonna feel this through my triceps as well, and then slowly lower down to the floor. Well, if you have a block, you'll be a little bit higher, but really what we're working on is that end range and extension, reaching, 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 and then lowering down, just tapping the floor. Good. And again, so again, we're just flowing through. Each time maybe raising a little bit higher, but again, without compromising the rest. So my arms here are nice and strong. I'm lengthening through my fingertips. 2 more times, each time reaching a little further. This is a great opportunity to check in to see where you're able, or how far you're able to go into that extension. Last one, hold. For 3, lift a little higher. 2, and 1, slowly release and relax. I'm gonna go back into shoulder flexion, but this time we're gonna come up, just how we did before, and then we're gonna slightly rotate and open up. And then coming back down, so kind of that close stance here, and then when we get up, we're gonna squeeze and drive the thumbs back. So now we're adding a little bit of back strength as well, so you're reaching up and then pushing back and then down. Reaching arms forward in line with the shoulders, and then you're widening, driving through the thumbs back. Notice here my back is working. And then down again. 3 more times. Reaching up, opening up into that V, driving through the thumbs, and down. Good. Last 2. Reach
and open. And down. Again, if you're feeling any pain, don't go as far, so always listening to your body. Perfect, and lowering down. One more time into extension. We'll add a little bit of rotation here as well. So exactly what we did before. You're starting by your sides. You're gonna extend all the way back. And then when you get into that final extension here, you're gonna open up the hands towards the outside now. If you see my shoulder, it's opening up. So my chest is open. Then I come back to neutral, lower down. Good. So again, finding that max extension back. And then you open up the palms. I'm trying to fit into the screen. There we go. And then rotate back to neutral and down. Couple more here. Reaching, reaching, reaching. Rotate out. Notice how everything is open in the front. Back to neutral and down. Good. Last two. Extending back. Rotating out. Beautiful. Oh, feels so nice. Last one. Extend as far as you can go. And then with control, rotating out as far as you can here as well. Beautiful. Slowly coming back down and just kind of shaking everything out. Whew. All right, we're gonna move into our elbows. So for this one, you can either come into a kneeling position, just you wanna be able to extend the arms by your sides all the way down. So you can kind of just either kneel on your knees if you have a pillow or cushion, or you can come into hero pose. So from this position, I want your elbows nice and close to the ribs. We're gonna start in the bottom position and you're gonna open up the palms as wide as you can. So you're gonna rotate towards the outside. From here, you're gonna start to lift the palms towards you, but I'm maintaining that rotation out. So the whole time, like instead of here, I'm trying to rotate away from my body. Then I can't go and I come all the way up. From here, I'm gonna rotate around, palms facing you, and then I'm gonna come all the way down into extension. At the bottom, I rotate back out, pulling up, rotating. So I'm rotating here as I come around. It's from my elbow joint, coming back down. You're welcome. So are you. So today's a bit more relaxing. We're taking care of all the little joints. Beautiful, keep going. We're gonna do this 2 more times, then we'll change directions. So just remember, you're going that max rotation in each direction. And same thing here, coming all the way through, thumbs come towards the center, extending down, and then last one, open up the palms, keep rotating to the outside, pulling up, coming through, and then down. And now we're gonna start from the bottom. Palms are towards the body. You're gonna pick up the hands, hello, and then from here, you're gonna rotate all the way out as far as you can, and then come on down. So we're just reversing it, close. You're gonna feel this, and as we're doing this also I should mention, trying to keep the hands as straight as possible. So you're gonna feel this through your forearms. So basically right now, because we're working on the elbows, we're also targeting all of the tissues that are connected to the elbows. Beautiful. Let's do 2 more in this direction, pulling up, around, and last one. Good. Coming through, lowering down, and then just shaking it out. Last thing we're gonna do here in the upper body section is our wrists. So again, for the wrists, I want you to think that there's a cup. You're gonna have your palms facing forward. Imagine that there's a cup on your hand. I'm not gonna do this actually. And as we move through the wrist, we wanna make sure that the cup does not spill. So if I was to do the wrist and basically rotate my forearm and cheat, the cup would fall. So just imagine always that there's a cup on the front of your forearms as we do these. So we're gonna open up the palms nice and wide. From here, I want you to bring the pinkies towards one another. So how it looks, you're coming towards the middle, my forearm is facing up. From here, you're gonna open up, so you're gonna drive the fingers towards the floor and you're gonna come out to the outsides and then you're gonna pull up. So again, here your hands probably wanna bend, try to keep the hands as straight as possible. You're gonna pull all the way in and then back in towards the middle. So again, small movements, especially if your wrists are really tight. There's no point in going as big as possible and kind of moving through the elbow, moving through the forearms. So that's why I'm locking my elbows here. I'm keeping my forearm facing up, and then I'm just trying to isolate the movement from my wrists only. And I know right now we're working 2 at a time. Sometimes like I'll do it where you hold onto the wrist. So if you want to pay extra attention, you can do that as well. You can do these regularly. I would suggest doing them every day, especially if you're spending a lot of time at a desk, at a computer, on our phones. Beautiful. So nice, and my hands are shaking right now. Good, we're gonna change directions. So again, now we're gonna come, so we've been going out, we're gonna come all the way down, in towards the midline, pulling towards your body, and then out. So your forearms right now should be on fire. Mine are. I'm like shaking everywhere. But again, I'm not changing the direction of the front of my forearms. Keep going, a couple more. You can also do these with fists. So you can kind of play around with just different stimuluses. Or stimuli, I guess would be plural. Oops. Good, and shake it out. Perfect. Okay. Now that we've taken care of everything there, we're gonna move into the spine. So we're gonna come back into that seated position and cross your legs. What we're gonna do with the spine is you're gonna start to imagine like you're taking the left ribs and you're kind of just pushing them out to the left side. So you're kind of just shifting your whole spine over to the left. My sit bones are stuck onto the floor. I'm gonna come back to center, take a deep breath in, and then we're gonna exhale. We're gonna go over to the right side. Good, and then just nice and easy, we're just gonna shift side to side. And again, I'm not just shifting my whole body like this. I'm kind of just trying to push through the ribs, so there's kind of like a little curve through the spine. Center, and then other side. Keep going, a couple more. And then we'll move into another direction. So you're gonna feel a nice side stretch here. Just kind of warming up before we get the arms involved. Beautiful, and now we're gonna move forward and back. So I'm just gonna move to the side here. So again, forward, I want you to think about pulling, bringing your chest up. We're going into a little bit of extension. Chest comes forward, your tailbone pushes out away from you. And then to go back, you're gonna tuck your tailbone under, you're gonna round the spine, and you're pushing everything back. And then you're holding onto your knees here. You're gonna feel a nice stretch between the shoulder blades. You can take your gaze down towards the floor, and then again, pulling yourself forward. As you pull, tailbone untucks, driving the ribs forward, the chest, shoulders are back, coming into that extension. And then again, tucking everything in, going into flexion. Do this 2 more times, coming forward, reaching, 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 shoulders back, chest forward, ribs forward, tailbone untucked. So you're going into like an anterior pelvic tilt, and then again, tucking it under, pushing all the way back. If you want, you can wiggle a little bit if it feels good. We have 1 more before connecting all the pieces. Again, drive that chest forward. You can use your arms here to really pull yourself through. And then last time, rounding through. Beautiful, coming back into that neutral position. From here, we're gonna add a little bit of rotation. So I want your arms up, and it's gonna be a little bit more movement based. So you're just gonna gently twist, sitting up tall, finding engagement through the core. You're gonna just start to twist side to side. So again, the twisting here, my hips are not moving, they're locked in place, I'm sitting on them. So the rotation is coming from the torso, from the spine. Keep going. Beautiful, let's hold that rotation to the right side. You're gonna take your right hand onto the floor, and we're gonna lengthen the spine, take a deep breath in, exhale, see if you can turn a little bit more. This time you can use your arms to kind of push yourself into it. Still with control, do not crank. Coming back to center, deep breath in. Exhale, twist. Use your arms. Think about keeping that length and finding the rotation. One more time, inhale, center. Exhale, twist. And then last time, inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, you can use your hands to push yourself a little further with awareness and control. Beautiful. And then slowly coming back to center, we're gonna go into flexion. So before we kind of pushed our ribs out, so we were lengthening through that side. Now we're gonna compress. And then same thing here. We're finding lateral flexion of the spine. I'm just trying to bring that bottom rib as close as possible to the hip, really squeezing that space. And we're moving through it. So normally we kind of go slowly and hold. Today will be a little bit more motion. Good. And I'm still maintaining core awareness, actually full body always, but I'm just side bending. Beautiful. One more time on each side, and we're gonna hold. So now we're gonna go to the right side, you're gonna hold, drop the right hand down onto the ground. Now you're gonna reach that left hand over, so our shoulders should be nice and warmed up. You can reach and lengthen. Notice here my sit bone does not come off the ground, so I'm staying exactly where I am, and I'm reaching, so I'm squeezing the space, and then I'm lengthening the left side of my body. Back to center, side bending to the left, drop the left hand, right arm reaches over. And then back to center, one more time on each side. Squeezing first, side bending, reaching over. And then back to center. Last time, left squeeze and reach. Beautiful. And coming back to center from here, we're gonna actually uncross the legs. I'm gonna swing them around, and we're gonna come into that tabletop position. And then here, I want you to kind of close your eyes, and I want you to, now that we've kind of moved the spine in every direction, I want you to kind of just move in this quadruped position, and just kind of move the spine. So kind of like a mix of cat and cow, going into like more of a lateral movement. Again, you can work through your hips and pelvis as well, where you're kind of tucking it in. Then you're untucking, going into anterior tilt. Maybe pushing everything to the side, getting a nice deep side stretch. So for the next little bit here, there's no rules. You can close your eyes. No one can see what you're doing on the other side of the screen, so just make it feel good. Here, if you want to also move through the shoulders, you can do a few shoulder circles. So now it's more of a closed circuit because we are on our hands and knees. So you're able to explore the movements that we did seated in a different position here. We'll just do this a couple more seconds. And again, just becoming more present in the body. Taking a moment as you move through this to be so grateful for your spine, for the ability that it has to move into so many different directions. It's kind of a piece that holds everything together in the body, so we need to give it a little bit of extra love. Beautiful. From here, you're gonna push your hips all the way back. Keep the knees nice and wide. You're gonna slide your hands forward, hands gently wiggling side to side. From here, you're gonna start to slide your hands towards your knees. Again, that rounded spine until you lift and lengthen everything up. Beautiful. From here, you're gonna come up into kneeling. You're gonna drop the hands back, coming into your tabletop position. And then from here, we're gonna lift our knees off the ground. You're gonna extend the hips all the way up and back. Start to stretch to the back of the legs, bending one at a time. Perfect. And then from here, staying in this down dog,
I want you to keep your gaze between your feet. You're gonna start to shift forward. And as I shift forward, my spine stays round. So my chin is tucked in towards my chest. And then as I come down, I'm gonna melt my hips towards the floor. Move one vertebrae at a time up my spine. And then here I'm gonna keep my toes tucked under. I'm lengthening my hip, my thighs are just lifted off the ground. If you need to, you can drop them down. Again, I'm just controlling how deep I go into that extension. And I'm gonna reverse it back. So tucking the chin in towards my chest, rounding the spine, tucking my tailbone under, lifting all the way up and back. Beautiful. From here, keeping the feet onto the ground, you're just gonna start to bend the knees, push the hips back. My knees are off the floor. Beautiful. And then again, extend those hips back up, come into that down dog. I'm on my toes, so my heels are fully lifted. I'm gonna start to move forward with a rounded spine until my shoulders pass over my wrists. So our wrists should be nice and warmed up. When I can't go any further, I'm gonna start to melt my hips. Then I'm gonna move up my spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, moving into extension. Beautiful. Here my arms are strong and really pressing into the floor. Tucking the chin towards the chest, rolling the shoulders forward, picking up my belly button, keeping the tailbone slightly tucked under, extending all the way back, finding neutral spine here. Pedaling out if it feels good. And then again, bending your knees and kind of opening them up to the side, really pressing into the hands, sending the hips further back. We're gonna do this one more time. So again, extend those hips, finding the highest point that you can with those sit bones. Start to travel forward, rounded spine, keep your chin tucked. You're looking at your feet. Once your shoulders have crossed over the wrists and you can't go any further, then you start to melt the hips towards the floor. Slowly working up the spine, unraveling everything, gaze forward or slightly up. Beautiful, and last time, tucking the chin in towards the chest, rounding the shoulders, rounding the spine, tucking the tailbone under, extending all the way up and back, bending the knees, dropping the hips towards your heels, and then dropping the knees fully down to the ground, untucking the toes, turning the palms up towards the ceiling here, just to kind of release the wrists. And then coming back, turning them back over, creasing at the wrists here, maybe waving forward, side to side. And the last time, slowly rolling up one vertebra at a time. Beautiful. And then when we get to the top again, just kind of rolling through the shoulders, shaking out through the wrists. And you guys are done. So today was more upper body and spine. Let me know what you guys want to do on Friday. Thank you so much for joining. Again, if you guys would like to donate for this class, the link is in City Shred's bio. We are supporting the Harriet Tubman Community Organization, which gives money to Black youth here in Canada to support different programs and different initiatives to help them thrive. So the link is in the bio. Thank you everyone for joining. Claudia, happy birthday again. And I will see you guys on Friday. So Friday we'll do more lower body since today we didn't get to it. So lower body, and then we'll kind of do a little mini flow at the very end once everything is opened up. Thank you guys for joining. Hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. Yay, you're welcome. See you guys soon. Wish it was longer. Well, I have other videos too on the City Shred page. They're always usually about 40 minutes, but just keep doing them and they will all add up. Hips on Friday. Yes, we'll do hips and lower body. Perfect. We're all on the same page. I love it. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining. See you soon.